Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. Brundy, we were just talking last episode about how Matthew Schaefer was breaking more records, and he was up to 18 goals as an 18-year-old. Well, since that last one, he's already up to 20 now. And did you hear the stat? Like, you've probably heard a couple, so I don't know if you'll know the exact one I'm looking for. But did you hear the his NHL first that he reached on that game? The Florida game.
Think so, maybe. I'm not quite too sure.
I was very surprised by this because I would have assumed by this point he's had a few. So obviously he's up to 20 goals on the season now, another 2-goal game. He also had an assist in that game. That was his first 3-point game of his career.
Really?
I thought for sure at least a couple of times this season he's had, 3 assists, 2 assists and a goal, something. Apparently that was his first 3-point game.
First 3-point game, wow.
I think it was a +4 as well. Like,
he had a very, very good game against a good Florida team too. Like now they're fully healthy. I mean, this guy continues to just dominate the game. Again, as an 18-year-old, again, he won't be turning 19 until training camp of next season. He's an early September birthday.
That's ridiculous.
So, yeah, he's the first rookie this season to hit 20 goals, and he's the first defenseman ever to be a rookie to be the first to reach 20 goals. No rookie defenseman has ever been the first to hit 20, which it makes sense. Like, usually you're not going to have a rookie defenseman be the first to 20 goals, but Matthew Schaefer is.
Yeah, you just figure at some point, Makar, Paul Coffey, you figure one of those guys in their rookie year would have been the first to do it, but it's literally never happened, which is crazy. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because he's already the 5th best goal scoring rookie defenseman or something like that. So I guess not a lot of rookie defensemen even hit 20 goals.
Yeah, so he's tied with Dion Phaneuf right now for most goals by a rookie defenseman at 20 in a single season. Only ahead of him is Barry Beck, who played with the Colorado Rockies. He had 22 in the 77-78 season. And in first is Brian Leach in the 88-89 season with the Rangers. He had 23. So Schaefer's got 20 games or so to get 4 goals to be the all-time leader. And for those who care, for those who are big into betting on like awards and whatnot, the Calder Trophy is essentially locked up already. We talked a bit about it last episode. We didn't talk about Beckett Seneca, which we probably should have at the time.
100%.
But it doesn't matter now. What do you think Matthew Schaefer's odds are to win the Calder are as of right now?
They've got to be incredibly overwhelming that he's going to. Like I saw a couple days ago, one of the big outlets, Sportsnet, TSN, somebody, they had a bunch of their insiders. I think they had 6 insiders for each question do their early trophy rankings. And so, your first, second, third. And, for the Hart Trophy, there's a couple McKinnons. One guy had Kucherov, one guy had Celebrini. And then, second place is whichever one they didn't have is in there. McDavid's in there. Like, it's a mashup of all these guys. The Calder was the same 3 in the same 3 order for all 6 guys. Every single one of them had Schaefer, Seneca, and Demidov. Which I was a little bit surprised Wallstedt didn't even get a shout, but they seem pretty convinced. So it's got to be very low.
So with the odds here, there's only 4 players even on here. Jesper Wallstedt is in 4th at plus 20,000. So for those who care about the math here, I'll actually pull it up.
That's, yeah.
So if you threw $5 on Jesper Wallstedt to win the Calder and he won it, you'd win $1,005. If you threw 5, so basically you You get your 5 back and you get an extra grand on top of that. Beckett Seneca is a plus 3,300, so you put 5 on him, you win 170.
That's
Demidov
pretty
in
good for the
second.
clear ahead second.
Oh, they've still
favorite
got
guy.
Demidov in second in odds at plus 2,800. You throw 5 on him, you get 145 bones back. Matthew Schaefer minus 6,600. You throw 5 bones on Matthew Schaefer to win the Calder, you get 7 cents back. You get $5.07 as your return.
Yeah.
So he's,
if you really want to farm up
it.
7 cents, you can, but
what's the
you'll make
it's
in that time frame, you'll make the same amount of money putting it in the bank and getting interest on it. Like it's the reason the odds are so low is because it's so locked up. Even if he misses the entire rest of the season, he probably still wins it.
Yeah, I think the very good chance. It's again, this kid is just so impressive, and we talk about him what seems to be like every week, but he keeps doing these kind of things. It's the same as last season. With Lane Hudson and the records he was setting and breaking and whatnot. We're just getting a good injection of good young talented defensemen into the league.
It's really fun. And one thing that I hadn't actually noticed until you said it, that I thought was interesting is that goal record for rookie defenseman that he's chasing down is Brian Leach, which is obviously potentially the most revered New York Ranger of all time. I would say he's top 3. And that's a huge record to hold. And obviously a kid on the island versus on the New York Rangers holding the record. For Islanders fans, because of that, the record will just mean a little bit more if he can get there.
Just a little bit more.
A little bit more than if he was passing, Larry Robinson in Montreal or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm absolutely right there.
Right there personally, I'd be shocked if he didn't get it. Like, because he has 4 goals in his last 2 games, right? Like, did he have back-to-back multi-goal games?
No, there was one game in the middle where he didn't. But still, 4 goals in 3 games. I mean, for an 18-year-old defenseman, it's pretty damn good. So we're on watch for that if Schaefer can break that record. But for now, we'll just keep letting him do his thing. He's having fun. The Islanders are in a good spot, and
if you would have told me a year ago, at this time of the year, 1 year ago, if you would have told me that the Islanders are this young and this exciting of a team, I would never have believed you. Like,
it's a crazy turnaround.
The front office turnover and them winning the lottery and jumping up to Schaefer, like that's huge. Like, I mean, I can remember in the past generally who picked high, knowing just who was at the bottom of the league and like who, obviously the Penguins got Crosby and stuff like that. But I don't remember when teams jump up super high in the lottery to get those picks. Can you, is that something in your knowledge? Do you know the last time we had a jump of like that many numbers up to number 1?
Oh, I mean, it would have been the Rangers with Lafreniere technically.
Oh, I guess, yeah. They got it. Like, I do want Lafreniere to be good, but it almost does feel cathartic that he wasn't as good as advertised because, like, they made the playoffs that year and also got him.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird time for the league, and obviously due to COVID and everything. But yeah, so that would have been the last time, and again, didn't quite work out for the Rangers, but it's
not working out. A lot of the high picks there did.
Yeah. But enough about Matthew Schaefer. We'll probably be talking about him next week when he's probably up to 24 goals by then. The LA Kings.
They finally did it. I honestly didn't have faith in them. I didn't have faith that they were going to do it. They needed to do it, but I didn't think they would. The LA Kings, they fired head coach Jim Hiller. DJ Smith has been named as the interim coach. I mean, just look at the way online over the past few months that every LA Kings fan has talked about Jim Hiller. They hate this guy, man.
Well, and they didn't want him back after the playoffs last season.
No.
They didn't want him back after the horrendous coaches challenge, a lot of the decisions that he made, like and people say they were bitter fans and they can't hold the L, but I actually agree with the Kings fans. If they didn't have Jim Hiller and they had probably anyone else, they probably beat the Edmonton Oilers in round one. But Jim Hiller made a couple just brutal mistakes that sank the team when they had all the momentum, and it did a complete 180. Edmonton had it all, and then Edmonton steamrolled the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And the decision to bring him back was definitely something. It's...
And they've got some really good young talent that is not quite reaching the levels everyone's been expecting. People have been expecting Quentin Byfield to break out for a bit now. Brant Clark is starting to do that, but he's not.
He's having a pretty good season.
He even with his kind of partway breakout season, he's still not quite getting the opportunities it feels like he should be at this point. Like, yeah, they were definitely one of the teams that needed a coaching change the most, and I don't know who they're going to replace him with, but it makes a lot of sense.
It's DJ Smith for now and will be for the remainder of the season, from what it sounds like. But yeah, I got to imagine they'll have an official new head coach at some point in the offseason. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the Kings. Obviously traded for Panarin. They're kind of involved in some other rumors. Apparently they're kicking tires on Patrick Laine. That's a little bit intriguing. But yeah, the coaching change needed to happen, and now we'll see if that can start to get this team on the right track.
Lots of teams, after their head coach is fired, they go on a huge heater. And I think a lot of it's because they usually really want to prove to the next coach that, kind of earn their place with the new coach and show their value, and they want to earn his trust. So we'll see if they can go on a bit of a run here.
And only 4 points out of a playoff spot. So it's not impossible for the LA Kings to go on a run and make the playoffs. And I think that's why it was so apparent that they needed to make the coaching change, because you couldn't afford to lose your next two games and all of a sudden it's, we're now 8 points back come the day of the deadline. Like at that point, it's starting to get a little bit bit worrisome. So how crazy would that be, though? The team that trades for probably the biggest name out there. We don't know if Robert Thomas is going to get traded, and even if he does, people will probably still say Panarin was the bigger fish out there. That's pretty crazy if the LA Kings trade for Panarin and the big fish out there and miss the playoffs.
Without again, like we keep saying it, but it's because it so rarely happens. Trading for a guy of that caliber without losing any roster players, not even a fourth liner,
lost absolutely nothing off their team.
Yeah, they absolutely should be making the playoffs, and I think with this coaching change, it makes it a lot more likely.
Yeah.
We don't have it written down, but I have another head coach I want to talk about, because how the hell does Craig Berube still have a job?
Yeah,
I still think he's a very good coach. I don't think he's a fit for the players, the media, the team. I just don't think him and Toronto are a fit. It looked like it could be neat for a little bit there, but man, these guys are just not playing for him. Like you turn on a Leafs game for 5-10 minutes and you can see what people are talking about. This team they straight up look like novice players. They're some of the most skilled players in the world, and they're skating around like they don't know what the hell's going on. Matthew Nyes accidentally flattened Max Domi the other night in the corner because they just didn't know they were both going to the puck. One thing that Toronto has been very proud of in the past, but also this season, because they've been undefeated, never been wrong, was their video review staff. They have, up until the other night, this whole season, they have not got a goal challenge wrong. They have not got an offside challenge wrong, 100%. And the other day, they had an offside challenge they were looking at for a goal. And the guys called down and said, it's not offside, don't challenge it. And Craig Berube knows best, and he said, I'm going to challenge it. And he got it wrong because the best video review guys in the world said don't do it. And he said, I'm going to fucking do it. Why? Why did he think he knew better?
Like, yeah, it's just a messy situation in Toronto. And I agree with you. I think Craig Berube is a phenomenal head coach. But again, it's just not working in Toronto at this point. We said it months ago. He's lost the room. You know, Toronto is obviously very scared of, you know, getting rid of him. And then at that point, the season probably kind of is lost, I think, just because maybe you get Peter DeBoer. But even then, I think if you're Peter DeBoer, why? You know, I get it is Toronto, but anything, why wouldn't you just wait until the offseason to go there and be the coach? Why would you want to be thrown into what's, again, the hockey city that has the most media, the most stories coming out of it, kind of the center of the hockey world? Why would you want to go into a situation like that to basically just become the new punching bag? Because that's what Craig Berube has kind of become. And why would you willingly put yourself in that position when you could just wait till the offseason and then clean slate, basically, with you stepping in?
Yeah. If I was the Leafs, I would probably just be sending him out now, and
even very similar to what the Kings are doing, bringing it in. Interim head coach.
I think Derek Lalonde is one of the assistants there. Like, just name him as the interim head coach. We've seen him do it before. Just all you have to do is get through the next month and a half, and we'll reevaluate in the offseason. Frankly, that could be a win-win for some teams, because Craig Berube, I could definitely see him doing some work in LA. That's a team that fits his MO a good bit more. That defensive style. They just have too many skilled, high-flying offense guys in Toronto to be playing Craig Berube hockey.
Yeah. No, and that's the best way to sum it up is, it's just not a good mixture of the type of roster he's given and his coaching style. You can't take a great head coach and then say, don't be that kind of head coach, be a different one. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
You bring the guy in that does what he does, and you give him the pieces. And Craig Berube, again, was not given really the pieces that he needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you look at that Blues team.
Sometimes it's just not a fit.
Was just fucking nasty. Like, it was, the way that team played under Craig Berube, like, it was just nasty, hard hockey from them. And that's because they had the players that were able to play that way, and they bought into it. Maybe some players on Toronto did, but at the end of the day, they don't have the same type of players that St. Louis had that could buy in and execute that style of play.
Yeah, like he won a cup with his best players being Alex Pietrangelo and Ryan O'Reilly. Like, most teams usually have a better, no disrespect to him, he won the Conn Smythe, but most teams that win the cup have a better first line center than Ryan O'Reilly. But that's such a perfect fit for Craig Berube. Like, I don't think Craig Berube would be able to take the Edmonton team right now to a cup. Like, that's just not the style. Like, he plays on those slightly lesser skilled teams, but he likes more depth and getting it from everyone throughout the lineup and grinding them down. Like, he really does coach playoff hockey, not regular season as well, it feels like.
You're 100% right.
But we'll keep an eye on it, because there's definitely been a lot of smoke around Toronto with that, and what they're going to do. But we can move on to some of our other news here.
Just kind of last little bit of news before we could talk about the only trade that's happened so far, and then we'll kind of do some trade deadline fun stuff, because again, this is our last episode before the trade deadline, so we'll wrap it up with all that fun stuff. Robert Thomas, we've talked a bit about him and the potential that he maybe could be traded. We were never fully on the train that he's going to get moved. It's not like St. Louis is forced to move him, and a player that skilled on that type of contract, like, why would he move him? Well, now it's looking like there's a decent chance Robert Thomas is going to get moved. Either at the deadline or before. And as far as we know, Utah and Buffalo are kind of the two teams most in the mix for Robert Thomas. But obviously, there is a bunch of other teams in there just haven't been named. But we know that Utah and Buffalo specifically have already been named to be in the mix.
On it. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I really did not think he was going to get moved. I thought maybe Kyrou does, some of their other guys, but it sounded like the asking price for Thomas was just higher than teams would be willing to go to. Sounds like it's come down a tiny bit, and it sounds like teams are willing to get in there. Like, yeah, it sounds like there's been a lot of smoke around Buffalo, specifically in the last day or so. And they've, if anyone's got picks, prospects in like every category, it's Buffalo. Like, it makes a ton of sense that they would go for it.
Yeah, and he's a great fit. There's certain teams that, well, I guess actually most teams. I mean, it makes sense for a guy like Robert Thomas. But if you're like Utah and Buffalo, it doesn't really make sense to go after like a Ryan O'Reilly, a Nazem Kadri type guy. But like a Robert Thomas, it fits the timeline of your team, kind of fits a need.
Yeah.
And just fits right in with your group both now and long term. Like, yeah, this is exactly the type of player that they should be going for. But again, nothing's official. We don't know if he's going to get moved, but they're saying that there's a decent chance he could be. So something to keep an eye on. And do you think Robert Thomas gets moved?
I really didn't before. I think at this point he does. I think
I think so too.
I think there's too many rumors for it to just not happen. Like,
yeah,
I'm getting the vibe he ends up going to Buffalo, but I feel like he's such a good fit for Utah because that's kind of they're kind of Montreal in the same spot. Like the way they're kind of missing that elite second line center. Like, they've got Logan Cooley for the future. So like they're set up front there, but who's their second line center? Like I really don't even know who's playing in that role right now. It's a Lawson Krause type or a Barrett Hayton, I think. Like, I guess probably Nick Schmaltz. Who, very good, but
he's also, his contract's up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And if you're Utah, would you rather pay Nick Schmaltz the $8 million he's going to command, or do you put that $8 million towards Robert Thomas, who's a better player?
Yeah, like
I'm leaning Buffalo though. I do think Buffalo easily has the pieces, and I mean, take a big swing. Like, go, like, they're in a playoff spot right now. Robert Thomas isn't going to hurt you.
Yeah, they have.
I would love to see Buffalo pull and then you run Tage Thompson, Robert Thomas for the next however many years. That's a phenomenal 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it's almost disappointing that they're both centers and wouldn't be playing on a line together, because talk about a pass first guy and a shoot first guy. Like, they would be staple to each other on the power play for sure.
On the power play, 100%. Yeah. So something to keep an eye on with St. Louis, but yeah, it's kind of sounding like they're ready to trade Binnington, Jordan Kyrou.
I've heard Binnington doesn't have
probably
many suitors. Sounds like not a lot of people are in on it, which, I mean, I know they didn't win the gold medal game, but I really thought coming out of the Olympics there'd be a little more interest around him.
Someone will bite, I think. Eventually.
I would hope so. It feels like a waste if it didn't happen.
And they're also, again, like guys like Justin Falk, maybe Comprager. Like, it does start to look like St. Louis is really just going to blow it up. Everyone kind of over the age of like 25 out the door.
Keep Neighbors, just keep Holloway,
Broberg, and you build around those guys. You get a bunch of picks, prospects. You still have Snuggerud, who's going to be a phenomenal player. Dvorsky, like, you've got good pieces, and just go the route of getting some draft picks. You're going to get a high pick this year. Maybe you get a prospect or two if you're trading, Robert Thomas or Jordan Kyrou, and you can easily do a 2-year retool on the fly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
always sucks
100%.
trading good players, but it's it's kind of necessary if you want to get back into the mix and have a deep team. Because again, to win in this league now and to win a cup, you got to have a deep team.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's got to
it's
be deep from
really
top to
hard to
bottom.
just win with those top guys. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can move on to the one trade that we do have, and I actually like this trade. I'm generally not a huge fan of a lot of the trades that the Edmonton Oilers have made in the last bit, but I think they did some tidy work here. Um, the Edmonton Oilers received Connor Murphy, 50% retained from the Chicago Blackhawks, in exchange for a 2028 second round pick. Connor Murphy is exactly the type of player that Edmonton should be wanting right now. So
Yeah. Just
for
a
for that, I love that they're going out and getting a guy like him.
just a big physical defensive right-handed defenseman. You only have to give up a second round pick. It's in 2028. Exactly what they were missing.
Yeah. And
It's
like
exactly what they needed.
I don't think they're lacking for it in Edmonton, but low key, I think he's got a decent bit of a leadership quality to him. He
Yeah.
he went through some bad Chicago teams where he had to kind of be one of the calming factors on the blue line, and
And before that, he was on bad Arizona and Phoenix Coyotes teams. Like
yeah,
Connor
we
Murphy
haven't seen him on a good team.
is 32 years old, played 805 regular season games. He's only played 9 playoff games in his career. And that was in the 1920 season with the Chicago Blackhawks. So this is a guy that really hasn't got the chance to be in the playoffs before. And hopefully he's going to get that with Edmonton. Again, Edmonton's sitting in wildcard 2 spot right now.
It would be shocking if
Here's,
Edmonton missed, though.
it is, but here's the thing I'll say, and it's a good thing about Edmonton, and it's a bad thing about Edmonton.
Sure.
The way that the lineups are kind of projecting to maybe look, you're going to have Ekholm and Bouchard. Most likely, they're going to go back to the what they've been running. Probably Wallman and Murphy, and then Darnell Nurse and Emberson. Now, again, people don't, they shit on Darnell Nurse a lot. He's a phenomenal third pair defenseman. Is he worth what he's getting paid? Absolutely not. He never will be. But as an overall third pair defenseman,
That's
that's
very
pretty fucking good. But it's the second pair. Wallman and Murphy, that is a really solid second
I really
pair.
like that.
You
That
only gave
enables
up a
Wallman
first
to
and
be
a
a lot
second.
more. That enables Wallman to really let loose offensively a bit more as well, which we saw at times during their last playoff run as well. Like,
Yeah.
that makes their
They only
decor
gave
look
up
a lot
first
better.
and a second to have that second pair.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But here's the thing. Because when we talk about Edmonton, we always got to go back to the goaltending thing. And apparently, it's not confirmed, but it kind of sounds like they're not making their goaltending move was going out and getting Tristan Jarry. They're not, going after Asaros or Binnington at this point. They're sticking with Jarry and Connor Ingram. So now it's when you got to look at it that you basically traded Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, 2 seconds for Murphy and Jarry. Murphy is a little bit of an upgrade over Kulak, I will give that.
Yeah.
But it's not like Jarry's been an upgrade over Skinner. He could be come playoff time, but right now he hasn't. So overall, though, like just looking at this trade, the Murphy for a second, phenomenal.
Yeah.
For Edmonton. But that goaltending problems is still there.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Like
as of right now, it could change by playoff time.
I like them getting Jarry.
Jarry could be awesome, but
I like them getting Jarry more than most people. I think he can maybe pick it up in the playoffs, but
and you weren't crazy for thinking it at the time. Like
it has not looked promising with him playing behind this team so far, and
been called out a couple times by Draisaitl. Well, their goaltending as a whole between him and Ingram have been called out by Draisaitl of basically we need a save or we can't go out there every night and score 6 goals to win a game.
How going into the trade deadline, how can you have a guy like Leon Draisaitl saying to the media, "God damn it, we need a save," and be confidently like, "We're out on goalies. our situation set. Like, if you don't end up getting one, fine, but like you need to at least be kicking tires, hearing people out. Like, what's
Yeah.
the asking price for Wallstedt? You know, like
Yeah.
if it's not crazy high, like that's a guy that not only could be good for you in the future, but at the bare minimum might be good for you enough to win the cup now. Like,
Is there a way you can get Bobrovsky out of Florida? Just anything. Like, just try to
yeah,
see what's out there if you can make a deal work, but don't just roll over and say we're not even going to try, because
we already
that's not
made our
going to go over
trades.
well
Like,
with Draisaitl, who's already heated about it. McDavid, who kind of gave you a window of we win this season or the next two, or it's over. Like, you got to be constantly in the goalie market until you find your guy.
oh, I wonder how long Stan Bowman's going to be around in Edmonton.
Like,
Like,
it's trades like this Connor Murphy one that I think are awesome, but then it's the Jari trade that so far hasn't looked good, and then deciding that was our goalie move. We're not going to do anything else. It's stuff like that that then is like, yeah, that's
there's some
not
GMs that
good.
they just are so good at some parts, and they just have a crazy blind spot in other
Yeah.
areas. Like, Kyle Dubas is so good at stockpiling draft picks, finding good forwards, even goalies when he needs them. The dude cannot put together a freaking decor. Like, he just doesn't know how to build it. Like, some of these guys are so good, and they have those gaps where it just feels like they're constantly being foiled at every turn. So we'll see if he can figure it out. Who knows? Maybe Jari ends up being the guy. But
Yeah, and that's, that always goes back to my initial thing. I said I don't care if at the end of the day if Jari's a 950 goalie the rest of the regular season with the Oilers, if he's a 750 goalie. It's the playoff numbers that matter.
yeah,
That's as long as Edmonton gets into the playoffs, which again they probably will and they should. It just comes down to what kind of goaltending you get in the playoffs, and that's what matters more than anything. So
yeah. Um,
we'll see.
with
But
all
overall,
that,
I like this deal for both teams.
I was gonna say we didn't really talk about the Chicago side too much. I mean, Murphy's a good player. I don't see with him being a UFA. I don't see a world where they can get a first. So
Yeah, no.
a second is about as much as you can ask for. And
It is a 2028 second, which we talked about before we started recording, and we kind of assume that it's going to be a pick that's going to be traded, you know, in a year or two, and Chicago's starting to look to maybe contend and really
yeah,
go for a playoff spot. It'll be a pick that they probably ship out the door.
yeah, just kind of a future asset for trades.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
There wasn't a ton more they could do. You got to get something back for these expiring UFAs. Too many
Yeah.
teams just like let solid players go to free agency on their own.
Well,
If you're
Chicago
not,
kind of made that mistake last season with the season Ryan Donato was having. They chose not to trade him. They re-signed him, and he has not been anywhere near the same player this season. And when you look at last season,
and most people knew that.
the haul you could have got back for him at the time and didn't. Those are the moves that hold you back a little bit.
Yeah, like the asking price for him was like it probably would have been like a first, a second, or something like that. Like he was having a
Minimum
real
of
good
first.
season,
At minimum of first, yeah.
and he was on like a $2 million a season
It was
deal or
cheap.
something at the time. Like, yeah, they could have got a lot more for him than the production they're getting right now.
Yeah.
Do we want to
Yeah.
move on to our mock trades at this point?
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody knows we love to do some mock trades around here. Once again, we got two for you today, as again, this will be the last ones we can do here for a while. Since, well, yeah, trade deadline's coming up, and after that there's no point in doing them for a bit until we get back to the off season. So we got some mock trades here. We always have a fun game at the end, and we'll probably have some more trade discussions throughout these mock trades and whatnot as well. Do you want to kick it off here for us, or do you want me to start us
Yeah,
off
I
here
can do
today?
that. I can do that. So for my mock trade, I have the Boston Bruins receiving Robert Thomas. I have the St. Louis Blues receiving a 2026 first-round pick. That would be Toronto's, that they got from the Fraser Minten trade, the Brandon Carlo trade. A 2027 first-round pick. Again, not theirs. That would be Florida's pick from the Brad Marchand trade. Marat Kuznetsov.
Yeah, I kind of figured this was the player you were talking about.
Kuznetsov. And Mason Lohrei. I wasn't sure if Mason Lohrei was a bit much with the other pieces in there, but he's been in trade rumors, and I was thinking about, I was like, I don't know if Robert Thomas is quite worth that, but at the same time, he's on a very good contract for a long time, and I think that adds enough value that...
Does Boston have their first round pick this season?
They have all their first rounders going into
So
the future.
I think if you're Boston, I think you try to do your first over Toronto's.
I was thinking about that.
Just simply because Toronto's first round pick is probably going to be better, and if everything, if Toronto just becomes full on sellers, their first rounder is top 5 protected.
Yeah.
So say Toronto falls down, they jump up and win the lottery, and they're picking in the top 5. Maybe it makes this trade maybe a little bit more messy, because then, there'd obviously have to be conditions on it. But yeah, I think for Boston, you would try to do your own first over Toronto. Like I'm fine shipping out Florida's.
That's fair.
First, I'm fine shipping out, the other players and whatnot.
Marat and Lohrei.
Yeah. I like it, though. I think it's it's around the value of, kind of around what St. Louis is asking for.
I mean,
we don't know if St. Louis is valuing picks or prospects necessarily.
Has been around a half point per game player this year. 26 points in 54 games. He's a +9. Mason Lohrei, 54 games, 23 points from the blue line, +10. So,
and he's a big body too.
Yeah, he's 6'5", 218. Like, he's 25 years old. Kuznetsov is 23 years old. So, keeps him young on the Blues, and the Bruins finally get that number 1 center that they've been looking for ever since Bergeron retired. Like, they were hoping that Lindholm could be that guy, and he really just wasn't. He still looks like he could be a phenomenal, pretty good second line center. Yeah,
but not a true 1C on a team that wants to compete for the cup and contend.
And Robert Thomas,
I like it though.
A really good passer, a very big pass first guy. Like, he's already got over 300 assists in his career, in his young career still, and you put him with Pasternak, that's going to be money.
Put him with Geeky,
Yeah. Yeah,
I like it though.
Options.
I actually really do like it for.
I was just looking through it as soon as I saw the Bruins. I was like, he just would be such a good fit for what they need and what they've been looking for a couple of years at this point.
And I do expect Boston is one of the teams that's going to be on, because again, they really, like we talked about Utah, we talked about Buffalo, we talked about Montreal. Like, they could really use Robert Thomas as a second line center. Boston really needs him as a first line center.
Yeah.
They've got Lindholm, who again is good, but he's bet more fit for a second line center role, whereas Robert Thomas fits exactly what they need.
Yeah.
I like this deal. I really do.
Yeah, I definitely think
the only thing would be the swap in the Toronto pick for trying to give up your first round pick if you're Boston.
And if they came forward with that offer, I think they would still, both sides would still be good with it. I don't think that moves it enough.
Mm-hmm. And
once I got to the point of adding Lohrei at the end, I was like, that might be a little bit much on the Bruins side. So taking a little bit extra value off their side with that pick would, I think that would be good.
And we already know they're open to moving Lohrei. He was part of the offer they gave to Calgary for Anderson. So we know that they're open to moving him.
Yeah. And Kuznetsov is, good,
He's
but
been finding his game lately.
he's been there for. I think they got him at the trade deadline last year, and then this season.
Yeah.
He's been good for them, but I mean, very low chance he's going to end up being a Robert Thomas for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like that. I mean, anytime you can get 2 first-round picks back, that's good.
It's 4 quality pieces.
Yep. Yeah, I give the thumbs up.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, so my mock trade here. I have the St. Louis Blues trading Jordan Kyrou
Oh, okay. We got a Cairo trade.
to the New York Islanders in exchange for their 2026 first, top 12 protected, Cole Yzerman and Anthony Duclair.
Cole Yzerman.
So again, because we got to be realistic. St. Louis is not. They're getting way more for Robert Thomas than they are for Jordan Kyrou.
100%.
At the end of the day. But again, you're getting a first round pick. You're getting a former first round pick and a guy like Cole Yzerman, and
looks to be pretty good player still, goal scorer. Like
at least on the goal scoring side, absolutely. And I think St. Louis can definitely make a player like him work. And then you also get Anthony Duclair to kind of fill in that spot of, where Jordan Kyrou is. He is still a very fast player.
Frees up
just hasn't really worked out well with the Islanders. I think a change of scenery will do him good, and he could actually be a pretty decent player for the Blues. It's just not going to work for him with the Islanders. So, and Jordan Kyrou,
it's hard to
Islanders
say that
definitely need a player in their top 6 up there.
Yeah, Kyrou would be a great fit for them. I don't know if a change of scenery would help Duclair at this point, just because, what'll that be, his 8th, 9th team? He's just been so many places, but
you get what I mean, though.
100%. It's not been working in
New York.
It's not been working on the island for him, and it's hard to say whose fault that is. But at the end of the day, what does it do for the Islanders to keep him if he's not doing a ton for you? So, yeah. Honestly, that's not bad. That's really interesting. I haven't had very many mock trade ideas that include moving Yzerman out of the island, just because they're a young team on the rise and stuff. But Cole Yzerman's good. He could be anything. He could even be Jordan Kyrou. Like, I like this deal. It's not a massive overpay, but there's definitely enough value there. I think both teams would say yes to this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt. And yeah, you look at the Islanders right now. With injuries, your top 6 consists of, on your first line, you have Andre Palat, Bo Horvat, Matt Barzal. Your second line, Anthony Duclair, Callum Ritchie, Emil Heineman. Could definitely use a guy like Jordan Kyrou. Your third line is phenomenal. You do have Anders Lee, Pajot, and Simon Holmstrom. Like, that's awesome. But you need another guy in that top 6. Because when Jonathan Drouin comes back, that just experiment hasn't really worked out particularly great either. I wouldn't be shocked if Drouin is moved by the deadline potentially. Maybe even Jonathan Drouin's the guy instead of Anthony Duclair in a deal like this. I wouldn't be shocked if that was even the case.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because if it was him instead, the Blues know that they'd be able to retain half on him and then flip him to the Avs, because we know they're looking to add in that type of role, and we know that McKinnon just gets the sauce out of Drouin. Just whatever's going on there, he just always gets the best out of him. So you could get even more assets doing that. Yeah, I like it. I think Barzal would love playing with a guy like Kyrou, who is not one of the best snipers in the league, but definitely a prolific goal scorer. He's good for at least 30, 35 goals most years. I like it. That's a thumbs up for me.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back mock trades that were absolutely perfect.
We just did Doug Armstrong's entire job for the next week.
Yeah, I mean, we gave him the blueprint. Let's see if he can follow through on it. Those are our mock trades. All we really have left is kind of the game we like to do at the end of every episode, but we still got some time here. Let's just talk about some other stuff going on around the trade deadline. Any players
Hell yeah.
you want to see go to specific teams? What are your thoughts kind of leading up to the deadline here?
It sounds like more and more people are saying that it's a bit of a buyer's market, that the teams buying in on the players, they have so many options from different teams that it kind of drives the price down because so many teams have their pick of the litter. But at the same time, I don't know, it's just one of those cases where I feel like as soon as players start going, they're gonna run out real fast. Like,
Yeah.
Teams like the Red Wings, you can't get hung up on Tyler Myers. Is Tyler Myers, like, they're planning on going to the playoffs and making a run for the cup. Whether they're full cup threats, like, is a different story, but their plan is to try and win the cup. Do they really see themselves doing that by having the team they have now and adding Tyler Myers? Like,
Yeah. That's
I
a
don't
great
know.
point.
He's not a good enough player to put everything else on hold and just wait to see if he waves to go to you. And, like, if that's really what you're waiting for, it's a guy that doesn't seemingly want to go to your team that much.
Yeah, no, and you're 100% right. And yeah, it is a buyer's market, but you look at all these, websites and articles of people's trade boards. A lot of the players, it's not even a given that they're moved. It's not a year where it's a bunch of guys on expiring contracts, being moved as rentals. Like, a lot of the names out there are guys that still have another season at least on their contract. Like, it's not a guarantee that Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou get moved. It's not a guarantee that Jordan Binnington gets moved because they're all still under contract. There's no pressure to move them. Nazem Kadri, Blake Coleman, Elias Pettersson, Tyler Myers. There's just so many. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. There's and then you can go through a bunch of guys on Nashville. Ryan O'Reilly,
take your pick.
Marchessault, Stamkos. There's no guarantee that these guys get moved. I think even Ristolainen has another year on his deal, if I'm correct.
I believe so.
He's got one more
2 years left.
So, do some of these guys get traded? Absolutely. But not all of them. Probably not half of them.
No, maybe a third, if that.
Because there's no pressure on the team selling to trade guys if the market's not there for them. If they're not getting a good enough offer, why would you trade a guy for less value just for the sake of trading him?
It's crazy to me how rarely a team waits and waits and waits and then buys and gets a deal because of it. It seems like it so rarely happens, especially with these guys with term, where the team's hand is not forced to trade him. It feels like every GM is so often trying to wait as long as possible to maybe get a little extra value or reduce the price a bit. Meanwhile, we're sitting here and 90% of the time we're praising a trade like timing. It's because a team got ahead of the curve. They traded Quinn Hughes in December. They got ahead of it, man. Or early January, whenever it was. Like,
oh yeah, December. Yeah.
Usually we're lauding those trades because the Avs didn't wait to move Rantanen at the deadline. They were like, okay, fine. If he's not going to extend, let's get ahead of it. And they had enough time to make a bunch of other moves before the deadline. So I'm surprised we haven't gotten more trades already being in the trade deadline week. But they got to be coming at some point, right? There's no way we're just getting this few trades. Like,
and thankfully the rumor mill is starting to pick up a bit, and we're starting to hear a bit more about what more players could potentially be moved, kind of what the price is, maybe what teams are kind of looking for. But again, like we're not getting anything rolling in. By this time last year, our episode before the trade deadline, I think we had at least a few trades that we were already talking about that had already happened.
Yeah, we've had
a couple big deals throughout this season so far, but kind of the lead up to the deadline, it's it's
Not,
kind of quiet, and it
it's
makes you
not been
wonder,
much.
are we going to end up getting all the trades kind of rolling all at the deadline? Are we not going to get many trades? Like, are a lot of these guys just not going to get moved because the market isn't there for the sellers?
There's one guy that I had not heard pretty much anything about until this morning, and now I'm starting to see a couple things pick up about him. Owen Tippett. Sounds like he is potentially on the
Yeah,
market out of Philly. He's on year 2 of an 8-year deal, paying him 6.2 million for the next 6 years, 6.5 years, I guess. So,
that'd be an intriguing player.
like, that's a guy who kind of really was able to break out once he got a shot at it in Philly. But he's also never played with that many great players. Like, you know,
Hmm.
it's hard not to come back to these teams just because they both fit the same exact archetype and he's that player. But either the Lightning or the Avalanche, they're both looking for that scoring second line winger. You
Yeah,
could do a lot worse than an Owen Tippett getting added to your squad.
absolutely,
Like a
absolutely.
top
Yeah,
six of Gensel, Point, Kucherov, and then Tippett, Sorelli, Hagel. That's
and even with
that's
the Avs,
filthy.
if you got your first line that's been rocking, you got a second line of Brock Nelson, Nichushkin, and Tippett, or even Landeskog, Nelson, and Tippett. Like
That's real good.
that's pretty nice. Yeah. So I haven't really heard much about Tippett, so I'm curious to see if he does get moved because that's an interesting player.
He's just one of those guys that I've just always been a fan of. I don't know. Everywhere he's gone, he's one of those guys that scores way more highlight reels than his stats would suggest. And it
Hmm.
always makes me wonder if, if he has the right line mates, maybe he's a 70-point guy. Like maybe he gets up there.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what his career high is, but uh
Actually, don't know.
two seasons ago he had 53 points with the Flyers, 28 goals, 53 points.
And again, he's hasn't ever really been surrounded with the best talent in Philly or the best system. Like he's an offensive guy,
Yeah.
kind of always been playing in a defensive system in Philly.
Yeah.
Whether that
Like
was
he
through
was
Tortorella or Talkett now, that's he
Yeah, if he's
hasn't had the
putting up
chance to go out there and
consistently
just fly offensively.
25 goals, 50 points each year for those coaches and the talent he's been with. If he goes to a more offensive team and under a more let him go score head coach, like
Hmm.
maybe that's the type of guy that the Oilers should be targeting instead of a Mangiapane. Maybe Owen Tippett's a lot better to be Draisaitl's running mate.
And that could be
Mangiapane,
something
who
intriguing.
cleared waivers the other day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I really haven't heard his name much, but I think that's an intriguing option for some teams. And yeah, and you look at it's kind of guys kind of similar over in Vancouver. You've got Brock Besser and Connor Garland who are locked up long term. You could fetch a decent return on guys like those from the right team because you know what these guys are capable of when they're not on a awful team, locked up long term on decent contracts. There's yeah.
And, similar to Robert Thomas, like young enough that kind of any team can go for him. Like we're talking about win now teams, but I wouldn't hate the idea of the Chicago Blackhawks picking up Tippett and being like, if you play well enough, you're going to play with Bedard next year. Like
Yeah.
I, you know, it's not quite the Mitch Marner to his Austin Matthews, but I think Owen Tippett's probably more suitable to play with Bedard than Teuvo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi. So
Hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna have to
I,
keep an eye on that. That's interesting. Now you got me thinking.
yeah, there's
Um,
there's a lot of good players out there that I think GMs are slowly getting more and more comfortable with trading guys in the first like 3 years of a long deal. Like before, it was like when you sign a guy for a long time, it's like he's at least staying there for the first half. But now it's like, we're okay keeping him, but if the right deal's out there, GMs are much less afraid to pull the trigger than they used to be.
One player I'm kind of surprised haven't really heard anything about him, and that's in terms of a trade or an extension, is Jason Robertson. You know, again, he's a pending RFA.
People are trying to will it into existence.
I'm surprised I haven't heard anything on even an extension talks or anything. Like it's pretty quiet in terms of what's going on there in Dallas. So is he going to be a surprise name that RFA?
He is an RFA.
So they do control rights, but
they must just be kicking the can down the road, pushing it to the offseason.
And it kind of feels like that's what they're doing. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
kind of makes you wonder. An RFA, maybe, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see what Dallas does. Again, we did talk about him last episode, and the amount of money that they've had open up. They seem to be rumored in around a bunch of different guys. We talked about Edmonton. What are they going to do? LA. Tough to say. You already kind of made your big swing, and I think you kind of maybe just have to put trust. Maybe if you make a 4th round pick for Line or something, and maybe that helps your power play or something.
Yeah, they honestly just want Line off the books to make other trades, probably. So if it doesn't,
you can maybe get Line for future considerations.
I wouldn't be shocked. Like he's taking up 8.7 mil of their cap. If that frees up money for, like, I'm pretty sure it's 8.7. Like if they just future considerations, that frees you up to go after a Kadri, a Robert Thomas, whoever you want. I just know some big news is going to drop the second we end this episode. It looks like there's quite a few different things. Quite a few things heating up around in the last little bit here. One of the bigger ones that I'm seeing is there is some serious discussions happening between the Islanders and the Canucks. Sounds like it's about Connor Garland.
Oh.
So maybe the Islanders looking at getting Connor Garland.
That would be huge. And obviously our dad is a big Islanders fan. And I know he's been a big fan of Connor Garland for a while. So
if you've seen him play, it's hard not to be. Like, that's a fun player.
Okay, then we got some more rumors here. This comes from Jordan Schmaltz. So that's Nick Schmaltz's brother, who's kind of a somewhat insider.
Hell yeah, I love that for him.
Proposed package from the Sabres for Robert Thomas includes Owen Power, Consta Helenius, and potentially Jack Quinn.
Okay.
And reports are saying that Thomas would be willing to waive his no-trade clause to go to Buffalo. Again, so don't know if this is...
A far cry from the past.
If there's any truth to that or whatnot, but...
That is similar to things I've heard, although I think I was just hearing people talk out of their ass, just like making their mock trades. But I mean, there's definitely a certain amount of value there that's, it's fairly close. Owen Power, I mean, it really depends on how much value you put in Owen Power, and I mean, there's definitely quite a bit there. But if you can get a recent first overall pick who's already locked up for a long time with a decent contract,
he's got
and then you're getting 2 other valuable pieces with them. I mean, that's
so Connor Garland's in the final year of his deal. He has an extension that kicks in this offseason.
I thought he was already in that deal.
Yeah, I did too.
That's still an extension. Jeez.
6x6.
The more I think about it, Owen Power just, like, no disrespect, Sabres fans, that sounds like it just looks so much better on the back of a Blues jersey. Owen Power kind of seems like a St. Louis Blue player, doesn't he? They love those Colton Parekos, their Petrangelos. They're like skilled defensemen, but still like a big boy.
Sounds like the Islanders could be looking at Tyler Myers too from Vancouver, as well as Connor Garland.
It makes sense with the year they're having. I'm shocked that the Islanders are looking to buy this much.
Yeah, like I feel like it's you make one move. You know, you kind of did the Andre Palat thing, but that wasn't really buying much. Like you kind of gained more assets and you gave out. So it's kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
a
also
power
seeing
shift.
Kiefer Sherwood's name is back out there. You know, the Sharks either got to have him signed to an extension by the deadline, or they probably do flip him.
Yeah.
So curious to see what goes on there. There's a lot. There really is a lot that a lot of rumors, a lot of stuff. But yeah, again, as of right now, we got nothing official to report here.
Maybe if some really fun trades come out in the next few days before we'll do our next episode, maybe we'll make a couple YouTube videos about some of them.
Yeah,
just go over a couple of them.
I don't hate the idea of that. But for now, we can dive into our final segment here. Everybody knows we love to wrap things up with a fun game. And again, if any news drops here before we're done, we'll make sure to cover it. And if it happens afterwards, well, yeah, we'll probably throw something up on the YouTube at some point and let you guys hear our thoughts immediately over there. So wrap things up with a fun game. Got something a little bit different for you here today.
All right.
Normally, the game we like to do a lot, we like to do Guess Who or Guess the Player. Got something very similar to that, but today we're going to do it in the style of Wordle. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories, which being the team, the conference, the division, the position, the player's age, nationality, jersey number. And you have 6 guesses, same as Wordle, to guess the player, basically. And you'll know, and I'll let you know which ones you've gotten right or not as you go through them.
Okay, so
essentially,
so this is similar to like the hurdle game, or I think there's one called Wordle. Are we doing it like that, where I'm guessing a player and then we use those to go in? Okay, so I'm not guessing like Canadian forward, like I would guess.
Yeah, no, you're just guessing
or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Did you pick the player, or are we using one of those apps? Okay.
No, yeah, I picked the player.
Okay, I haven't done any of those today. I was just wondering.
Yeah, no, all by me.
All right. I want someone where I know a lot of their stuff, obviously, so I can know what I'm looking at. I'm going to go with Anthony Cirelli. He's got a very middle of the road age. I believe he's 27, might be 28. I think he's 28. He's Canadian. He's number 71. He's a center. Like there's a lot of
Anthony Cirelli.
A lot of things to look at there.
You got the team wrong. You got the conference and division wrong. You got the position wrong. This player is older than Anthony Cirelli. You got the nationality wrong. And this player's number is higher than Anthony Cirelli's.
And their number is higher.
Correct. Correct.
And you said they're not a center, and you said they're not in the East at all?
Yeah, no. You did not
so it's
get
a player
that
and non-Canadian.
Correct.
Non-Canadian. So a non-Canadian, jersey number is higher than 71. They're older than 28, 27 or 28-ish. And they're a goalie, winger, or defenseman in the West. There's a lot of stuff there. Let's go with let's try and get let's go an American winger in the West. I'm thinking Matt Boldy, but I know that won't help me on the age at all. Who's older? Where's Chris Kreider from? I always forget. He seems so American, and then I feel like he might be Canadian.
He is American.
He is American? He's older, but I actually don't know how old, so it's hard to gauge. Screw it. Give me Chris Kreider.
All right, so Chris Kreider. Pull him up here. So with Chris Kreider, you got the team wrong. You got the conference right. You got the division wrong. Chris Kreider is listed as a left winger. You got the position right. This player is younger than Chris Kreider's 34. They are an American, and their number is higher than Chris Kreider's 20. He's still 20 in Anaheim?
I think so.
Yeah, higher than his number 20.
A Central Division left winger who is American. Interesting.
Correct.
That narrows it down a decent bit. And you said younger than
34, but older than Anthony Cirelli, who's 28.
Younger than 34. Central Division, left wing, American, younger than 34, older than 28, number higher than 71.
Correct.
What? I feel like Brock Nelson is a low number, but I really don't know what number he is. I don't know what number he normally is, and I don't even know if he got that number going to the Avs. How many guesses do I get?
6.
6? I got room. I'm going to go Brock Nelson.
I'm going to go Brock Nelson.
Is he a centerman? Is he a winger? I don't know.
So for Brock Nelson, you got the team wrong. You got the conference and division right. Position wrong, because Brock Nelson's a center. Younger than 34.
He's also 34. Okay.
You got the nationality right. And again, they are higher than the number 11.
11. Okay. I was pretty sure he was like 20 or lower.
I think he was 28 with the Islanders.
Okay. So pretty much all I got from that is it's not the Avs.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. We basically just figured out, it ain't the Avs.
Left winger, American, younger than 34, older than 28. In the Central Division.
Yeah.
In the Central Division. Let's just bring up
the you can look up yeah.
I'll say I'm not gonna look up the rosters just yet, but
just having the
gonna
teams
have the
listed
central
there to yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, the Preds definitely.
Who you feeling? What are you leaning towards?
I'm hoping I'm hoping it's not a guy on the Blues, because frankly, other than a lot of the big names, which pretty much are all Canadian, can't really think of too many that it would be there. The Stars. Is Jamie Benn Canadian? I kind of think so. He's probably 34 or older, though. Like, there's no way Jamie Benn's 33.
And Jamie Benn can still go without a visor, so.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way that he's younger than those guys.
He's up there. I will say you do know this player, though. Like, I didn't just pick a random.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It's
fourth liner on wherever.
Yeah.
The Wild, Zuccarello. No, he's like 38 and not American. Does Nick Schmaltz count as a left winger or a center? I know he's like in fantasy. I'm pretty sure he's got eligibility for left, right, and center. Like, I know he plays a decent bit of all of them. He might also be Canadian. There's some of these guys where it's like it really feels like a toss up if they're Canadian or American. Nick
Yeah.
Foligno's got to be too old. I think he'd be a center as well.
Another guy who could be traded.
That being said, younger than 34, so it goes up fairly high. But I mean, older than 28, so like they could still be like 29 or something.
Yeah, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33.
Where's Bertuzzi from? I want to say American. I think he's a right winger, but he's kind of in that age range. I feel like he's 29. What the hell's his number? I have no idea. He might be in the 70s. I'll go Tyler Bertuzzi. I got to get something out there.
You're going Tyler Bertuzzi. So you got the team wrong, but you did get conference and division right. You got the position right, left wing. You got the age wrong. Bertuzzi's 31. This player is younger than Bertuzzi.
Okay.
Bertuzzi is Canadian, so you got that wrong, and the jersey number wrong. Bertuzzi's 59, so you already know that it is higher. So basically, you've narrowed it down to now. It's and you only have 2 guesses left.
I know it's a 29 or a 30-year-old because it's older than 28, younger than 31.
Yeah. In the Central, left winger, jersey number higher than 71, and American. Should be right there for you now.
I keep coming back to not Robert Thomas, Jason Robertson, just because he's such a prolific American left winger, but there's no way he's 29 or 30 and has RFA eligibility.
That's still an RFA, yeah. And it's not Colorado and Chicago.
That is true. So it's Blues, Jets, Preds, Mammoth, Wilder Stars.
Yeah.
The Stars have quite a few American players. Who the freak else is in their top 9? I was like, Wyatt Johnson's Canadian too young. They got Hintz, who is not American. It's not Jamie Benn. It's not Jason Robertson. It's not Tyler Seguin, who's now out for the season on LTIR.
Season-ending LTIR.
I don't think a guy like Maverick Bourque is that old.
No.
The Jets, I don't. Well, how old is Kyle Connor? Do I not know Kyle Connor's number? Is he 91, 81, something like that? That seems accurate. I know he's a winger. I think he's a left winger. He might be a right winger. That seems like a pretty good guess. I'm going to go for Kyle Connor.
I'm going to go with Kyle Connor for your second last guess.
Yeah.
You got the team right. You got the conference right. You got the division right. You got the position right. You got the age right. You got the nationality right. You got the number right. It is Kyle Connor.
Kyle Connor.
It is Kyle Connor.
Well
done.
Is he 81?
81, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that early guess was huge because it put you where you knew it had to be someone with a high number.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to guess him. Like, I didn't know I would get so much info with the teams. I thought you might have said like not in the Atlantic, but cutting out the East right away was a lot.
Yeah,
I was thinking my second guess might just be Jake Gensel, just like right out the gate, just like Canadian center, American winger.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but you already knew you're off to player in the West.
Yeah.
No, you did good on that.
That's good. I like that one.
We are at the end of the episode here. Again, we will do one final sweep to see if anything has been confirmed.
Due diligence. Frölunda wins the CHL for the 5th time.
Nice. I do not see anything.
I'm seeing people talk about how the Blues were interested in Bowen Byram last summer, but it sounds like he's not expected to be part of a Robert Thomas deal. So everything I'm seeing about Robert Thomas is linked to Buffalo. Like
Buffalo. Yeah, they kind of seem like they're the front runner.
Yeah, I would be
right
shocked
now.
if they didn't get him.
Yeah.
Do you think any goalies go back the other way? Do you think the Blues are solid that Hofer's their guy, or do you think they're like, well, Devin Levi, if he works out, could be really nice?
Maybe, but I think you just try to maximize the value and just get those, whether it's an Owen Power, Hellenius, first round pick.
Yeah.
And then I think you worry about the goaltending later. And yeah, I think Joel Hofer can be fine for them in the meantime. And it's also not going to really help Devin Levi to bring him in and just get thrown into a dumpster fire if the Blues are shipping everybody out as well.
Yeah, true. Getting drafted by mid-rebuild Sabres, they finally get out of it, and then you get traded to we're starting over a retool rebuild
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah. But yeah, as of right now, no official news has been dropped in. Again, if any big notable moves happens, we'll be sure to throw something up quickly on the YouTube to give you guys our immediate thoughts and engage in those conversations with you guys. But that is it for this episode. We hope you all enjoyed. As always, if you want to talk hockey, let us know your thoughts on the episode, everything we discussed, or if you have any trade deadline predictions or mock trades of your own you'd like to submit to us, you can do so at the end of the socials or on YouTube in the comments. But Braden, we're gearing up for what looks like could potentially be a couple of crazy days, as no trades have really happened yet. We'll be constantly talking and on the go dealing with that. But as for this episode, as always, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. There are more players with term available right now than I feel like I've seen in a long time. And because of that, it really feels like any team could be in on multiple of these good players, which, nothing's quite happening yet, but it is exciting because, every team can get excited about maybe my team's going to go out and get this guy or make this move. Like, whether you're a rebuilding team who needs a winger or a team looking for a cup that needs a winger, everyone could use an Owen Tippett, a Jordan Kyrou, or Robert Thomas. So there's a lot of fun stuff to be had there. Even who are we talking about earlier? Connor Garland. I don't know if there's a team in the league where I'd be that shocked if he went to. I don't know, maybe Nashville. He plays a Nashville style
player. He's definitely an intriguing player, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week, assuming some of the deals actually get done.
Yeah, as long as they actually get done. That's the big thing. But that is it for this episode. One fun time. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, we will see all of you out on the ice later this week.